Okay, folks, I think we'll make a start. Thank you all for coming along to this brief session on SustainIQ. So I'm Liam McAvoy. I'm one of the co-founders of SustainIQ, and SustainIQ is the all-in-one ESG sustainability reporting software solution. The two co-founders, myself and the other co-founder, we come from industry. We spent 20 years trying to capture data from site. We always knew there was a better way of doing that. So SustainIQ was kind of born out of that need. So we launched back in 2018. Just a little bit of context around what is driving ESG up the agenda. Why is there such a demand for ESG data coming from sites? And look, there's lots of drivers. We've international, national and local drivers. I suppose, look, we've had a lot of commercial drivers over the years. Sustainability would still kind of weigh up to 20% in a quality submission within Attendo. So there's huge commercial drivers there. And that's set to continue. We've had social value for quite a few years. We're now starting to see net zero coming through. I think the big shift has been in the need for particularly contractors to now get access to the data so they can back up that they're doing what they say they're doing. And that's really where we come in. There's obviously a lot more regulatory compliance as well. We've got lots of SECR and different pieces of legislation, and that again is set to continue. In the EU this year, CSRD was launched, Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive, and the UK version of that, SDS, is due out to be published later this year as well. So a lot more legislation coming down the tracks as well, all of which requires access and visibility to your ESG data so you can easily comply with whatever the requirements might be. Look, we're seeing banks build ESG clauses into loan agreements, so even companies looking to access finance to scale their business need to be able to demonstrate their ESG credentials. So it's coming from all angles, and it's said to continue over the coming years. So definitely lots of drivers there pushing it up the agenda. Obviously there's a lot of challenges, and we don't deny those challenges exist. There's a lot of complexities around the projects that we're involved in, the size of the project, the location, the stage at which they're at. All of these factors play in and can create challenges and blockages in terms of getting data flow from site. I think with ESG as a whole, a lot of the data does exist. It's stuff in a lot of cases we've been tracking for years. Not all, but quite a few of the things. So it's the problem with that though is the data is often siloed. It's living in spreadsheets, so it's on a desktop or in another piece of software somewhere in a cloud, and the only value it's offering is to the person who owns it. It's not talking to any other part of the business. So we need to change it and get that data out of the silos. I think as well, ESG as a topic is vast, and the amount of data that's now required is vast. And I think that's a bit overwhelming for a lot of businesses sometimes when they first look at it. You know, a lot of businesses would scratch their head and wonder where do we even start. So the volume of the data requirement in itself can be very overwhelming. So look, there's lots of challenges. I think customers as well are very, very hungry for this data, and they want it now. And I think in the past we've always had a little bit of a lag in terms of getting this data through from site. And we can't have that anymore. We need access in real time to a lot of that data as well. So look, lots of challenges there to overcome. And at SustainIQ, we're committed to working with our customers to help them overcome those challenges. Our USP is the fact that we're an integrated ESG reporting platform that unifies all aspects of an organization's sustainability activities within one single environment. So it's all of the environmental indicators across the site, as well as all of the social value, all of the governance aspect across supply chain and the value chain and so on as well. And our goal is ultimately to help our customers take a more data-driven approach to their ESG strategy and take a more data-driven approach to those big investment decisions that we all have to make in the coming years, particularly around things like net zero, where we all have to spend a bit of money in order to achieve successfully the transition that we all have to now take. And so for us, it's about making that data visible to inform those conversations and ultimately help with those big decisions that have to be made in the coming years. So just in terms of outlining the capability of SustainIQ and how the platform actually works. We've designed and built it across the 4 pillars that you see on screen. And those 4 pillars break down ESG in terms of what it is that we're looking to capture across all of the different projects. We've currently got over 200 data capture points already built in across the 4 pillars. That sets out exactly what it is that needs to be tracked. So we've kind of taken the pain out of that a little bit for our customers. Just to jump through the 4 pillars very quickly to give you a little bit of an idea of the different types of data that we capture. Under responsible procurement, we're really talking about all things to do with products, materials and supply chain. There's a lot of governance, a lot of due diligence built into this pillar around things like modern slavery, rights to work in the UK, information security and so on as well. But from a products and materials perspective, we're really tracking responsible procurement, recycled materials, products made from a recycled content, all that typical stuff. And we've also got the embodied carbon calculator in there as well. So we've got integrations with Revit and so on as well. So we can pull through design stage products and materials that have been specified. But for us, we want to track what's actually being ordered and what is actually coming on site. And so we use environmental product declarations, EPDs, to do that. And where they're not available, we've got access to online portals where we can still pull the data through. Regarding the supply chain, we built like a supply chain portal in there within the procurement pillar. And through that, then we can issue out automated forms to capture lots of Scope 3 emissions from subcontractors and the wider value chain as well. Again, we can do lots of pre-qual checks and due diligence checks as well. And then we've also got a socioeconomic impact calculator where we can, using mapping, we can track really the impact that your business is having on local supply chain opportunities with regards to that project as well. The environmental pillar then tracks all of the key environmental indicators across a project. So your greenhouse gas emissions, Scope 1, Scope 2 and Scope 3. Waste management is in there. We've built a lot of circularity in there around the waste as well. And we built all of the compliance around duty of care and so on as well. We obviously track the use of natural resources, including water and potable water and so on. Biodiversity is in there, including the 10% net gain. And lots of reporting, so lots of BREEAM and LEED compliant reports, site waste plans, all of that already built in within that particular pillar to help the project teams deliver on those different goals. And there's loads of KPIs and loads of metrics already in there, but again, customers can add their own as well. But those just help you to normalize the data so you can properly benchmark performance across different projects as well. The people, health and diversity pillar, then that's us moving into social value and social impact. But that pillar focuses on internal investment in people. So we're really looking there at the investment in training and development, including the supply chain, the investment in health and safety, health and well-being, all big investments by businesses. So we need to track the return of that, the impact of that, diversity and inclusivity as well, the impact that's having across the workforce. We track apprenticeship and placement opportunities, both directly through your businesses, but indirectly through your supply chain as well. And we've got lots of social impact reporting there as well, depending on what framework you might be reporting under for that particular client. And then the final pillar is community engagement and partnering. So again, this is social value, but it's externally focused on relations with stakeholders like community organizations, volunteering groups, charitable donations, any engagements you guys might have with schools, colleges, universities, and examples of responsible leadership. So really it's the stuff you do in, day out. You see it all the time coming from the project teams, but we just need to track that so we can report on the impact of that. So all of the project teams are then tracking that, tracking their performance across those 4 pillars, all into one big central dashboard where there's loads of like data analytics for them to really drill down, interrogate the data, understand performance, apply the different metrics so they can benchmark their own project, but also against other projects that may be live across the business as well. And we've made it as easy as possible to get the data into the system because we do understand, the teams on site are already under a lot of pressure. We don't want to add to that, but they do hold a lot of data that we need to get our hands on. So we've got an API and that allows for integration with other software so we can pull and push a lot of data automatically. You can upload spreadsheets. We've got surveys. We've got automated forms that go external to the supply chain. We use QR codes, and we've even got the SustainIQ app. And the SustainIQ app really just allows for manual entry through mobile phone device or tablet. So there's lots of options there that we can deploy And our customer success team work with all of our customers to identify the best options and the best solutions for each customer in terms of data entry as well. And those guys are the 4 benefits that typically are fed back by our customers time and time again. By using SustainIQ, by having access to this data and visibility of accurate and reliable data, we're helping them become more competitive. They're using the data to position themselves as leaders within the marketplace, and they're taking that position in front of their clients. They're obviously front-loading their tenders with lots of really good data as well to successfully win work going forward as well. Obviously, they're using a digital solution, and SustainIQ can save them a lot of time and a lot of money. And we calculate up to 34% on some projects as well. Obviously, having access to your ESG data, it allows you, if you choose to be more transparent, and that then allows you to build trust with stakeholders. So you can build trust with your clients, with your employees, your supply chain, investors, members of the public as well. And ultimately, we're helping our customers reduce risk of non-compliance with maybe an ESG clause, a net zero clause within a contract, or indeed an accusation of greenwashing or non-compliance with a piece of legislation. If you've got that data, you can back up that you're doing what you say you're doing. Your messaging reflects your actual performance. So it's very important as we move forward. Guys, we launched back in 2018. We're working with a great bunch of customers across the UK and Ireland. So the tech has been well tested and working well and delivering and doing what it needs to do. We've got a big development roadmap ahead of us as well. So there's lots more functionality coming on in the next few months, which we're all looking forward to. But thank you all for your time today. There's a lot more information on our website, including case studies and ebooks around how to get started on your ESG journey, for example, all available on SustainIQ.com. We're just over at one of the stalls here in the arena today as well. So if anyone wants to find out any more information or maybe get a quick look at the platform as well, please call over, give us a shout. We'll be happy to chat. Okay, thank you. Cheers.